podcast thingy. Okay, right, I'm Jan.
I'm Sharon.
And we're menopausal friends living here in France, and we plan to share with you our lives,
Loves.
and laughter, as the saying goes.
There's always lots of that.
We'll be discussing many subjects and also just being us. Enjoy!
Woohoo!
I realise it's still filming. It's been filming all that time. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Is that really low? Do I look like a small child? Small child at least. I do look
It
like
does look a bit silly, doesn't it?
child, even if I sit up like that.
Sit on a cushion.
Perhaps this
But we
bar
don't want
isn't
it that. That's not so bad now you can't see the table. You've got to do what you're comfortable with.
I
But
don't know what I'm comfortable
Right,
with.
we're getting... Sit there and see. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? You look taller than me. Or is it just the way I'm sitting?
Is it the chair?
Oh, that's weird. But then again, you're further forward than me. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, that's better. Right, let's have a look at see what that. Hello, as you'll have seen before, we've had a bit of a rigmarole trying to sort ourselves out, trying to get us in a comfortable position where, namely where we both don't really want to be showing too much of our bodies off. But
No.
Sharon's been, as you know, we've done the podcast because Sharon's a little bit self-conscious body-wise.
Yes.
So that's why we've been doing the normal, I did say oral, didn't I? No, or audio, and he said it again, audio podcast. But I think because the numbers hadn't got any better, I'm wondering if it's because people prefer to see us talking.
Yes.
So we're trying this. But if you're the sort of person that wants to listen while you're doing your housework, which is what the intention was for the other one, you can still do that. You don't have to see us.
Yes.
So
Sharon would prefer you didn't.
yes, Sharon would prefer you didn't, but obviously you've now got the option. You can listen to us and see us if you so wish.
Yes.
So today we are in Sharon's craft room. It's the first time of doing this.
Yes.
Because it's quite a nice light room.
We say craft room.
Yeah.
Not a lot of crafting goes on in here.
No, unfortunately,
It's craft storage
Yeah.
more than anything else.
The whole intention was that we would come here, well, take it in turns, wasn't
Yes,
it? And
yes.
it didn't happen because the facilities didn't really allow
Doesn't
that,
lend
did
itself,
it?
no.
Because the table you had didn't allow two sewing machines and
No.
enough room for us both to do something.
But I bought another table
Yeah.
at a at a plant fair. Actually.
Yeah, bizarre. So I'm
was a little
assuming it was like a
brocante.
little brocante stall.
Well, it was where what did Dunk buy there?
Oh, he bought
Just
me a
drawers?
bedside
Oh,
little
bedside
cabinet of
cabinet.
drawers, didn't he?
Yeah, same place. So there's a man who does like brocante things. So I bought a little drop leaf table. I may eventually use it downstairs, but at the moment it's in the craft room, so it allows Jan and I both to sit at it
Yeah.
and hopefully do some more crafting. Yeah.
Mm.
Otherwise it's just craft storage. But it's got some lovely shelving in it that our friend Julie put up for me. Various
I would pick the camera up and show you, but
no
I'm not
various
going to.
things that I've made, and I must share my broccoli.
This is broccoli cushion. Yeah, you could have just done the podcast from behind the
I
cushion.
could do that if you like. So, my youngest daughter, Isla, her partner does a lot of cartoon type illustrations, don't they? And they do T-shirts and things like that. And I asked for a broccoli cushion because I like the broccoli symbol. I was expecting a little square cushion with perhaps broccoli on it.
Yeah,
but I got this,
huge,
and I love it.
I'd forgotten how big it was, I must admit.
And there's various. Yeah, Jen made me this as well.
Yeah, if you're watching my Foppy Upcycle channel, you'll see that I did a little video on that.
Yeah, so that sits on the back of my chair in here. So various other bits and pieces.
So that is where we are. So let's do what we normally do and tell everybody what sort of week we've had. Well, you can start. Can you remember where you've been, what you've been doing?
Vaguely, yes, because you won't have done a podcast since you come back from London.
No, that's true. The last one was prior to the UK trip.
Yes, okay. So while Jan was away, I didn't do much really. Because it's not that. No, I did. I didn't walk because I can only walk with Jan.
Well, yeah, by all accounts, Sharon can't do anything without me telling her what to do or dragging her somewhere to do something. But sometimes you do. Yeah, I think we're all a bit like that. We do. Otherwise, you could very easily be lazy, couldn't you?
Need motivation.
Yeah.
But no, I did go swimming and I did go to chair fit without you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's very brave. But then this week, we had a Perros, didn't we, on Saturday night?
Oh, here we did, yes. Yes, I'm thinking you meant before we went away.
Yeah, with Natalie and Leon, who Jan and Dunk took to London to show us all the London pictures, which was lovely, and see their enthusiasm for the trip as well, because you were worried.
Well, we were worried because we can't make out if it's just the French way. They're not very, what's the word?
Demonstrative?
Demonstrative. Yeah. We knew, and now actually editing the videos, I've been able to see that there was a lot of laughter and smiling going on. But of course it doesn't help the fact that very often I'm ahead of everybody, walking ahead, so I don't see expressions of people behind me. I don't know why I do that.
No. I mean,
I feel like I've got a built-in tourist guide in me, even though I wasn't the guide. Duncan was the guide, but I find myself walking ahead. Even if you don't know where you're going? No. You still do it? Because I find it really hard to walk slowly. Yes. To me, I think because I just feel that walking is good for me and I need to at least get up some speed for it to be any good, despite the fact that I'm supposed to be a tourist and looking at things. Yes. The same in Italy, wasn't it? Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly the same. If you watch the videos, you'll see that more often than not, I'm in front. And that on one of the last videos, there's a bit where Duncan filmed me with my bag over my shoulder, and I was on a mission. I was heading for the station. I knew where we were going because I knew it was a straight road, and I was off. I think because I was so tired from the whole week, all I wanted to do was get to that station and sit on the train again, because we'd walked so much. I just wanted to sit down for a bit. So, what was your average steps count? Steps count, I think it was about 12,000. 12,000 a day. When you think we normally only do, between 5 and 7. Yeah, and that's not every day. A lot. No, and I mean Leon and Natalie are quite good walkers, and I think even they've found it quite hard going. But they, as I say, looking at the videos now, I think, they did have a good time. And we spoke to their brother recently, and you could tell by the way he was talking that they'd indicated that they'd had a good time. So, good stuff. But so that was Saturday, and that was quite nice, wasn't it? Had pizza and stuff, didn't we? And a few drinks and that. Yep. And then you went away the next day, didn't you? Later than I thought I was going. Yeah. Idiot. I've got a little chalkboard where I put things on because I've got memory like a sieve, and I'd written on the chalkboard what time. Well, I'd put 11. Now, apparently that was the time I was meant to be at Max and Julie's for them to then drive us to Caen. And Max and Julie live an hour away.
Yes. I'd convinced myself that I was leaving here at 11. And I wasn't.
Well, that's what you told us Saturday night. It's fine because I haven't got. I leave till 11.
I knew that was exactly what was going to happen. Except that the other couple we were going with messaged to say they'd got there early, which they always do. And Max replied, "Oh, we're going to leave as soon as Sharon gets here. She's due here in 5 minutes." This stage I was still at home.
And you're still here.
And I went, "What?" So then we had a panic thinking how we could do it. So in the end, I just drove straight to Caen. So it was supposed to be a driving free weekend for me, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I drove like a maniac. And I didn't get there that late. And we still had a lovely lunch in this. It's actually run or owned by New Zealanders. They've actually got 2 cafes now.
Oh.
In the sort of quayside area of Caen. Thing is, as we said...
So it was Caen you were meeting because you were staying in Weestrum, weren't you?
Weestrum, yes, which is where the ferry is.
Yeah.
Although it's called Caen, is it? But it's not actually...
They always say Caen Ferry, but it's actually the Weestrum Ferry, yeah.
So, yes, we met there. We'd had a lovely lunch there and then we made our way to Weestrum, where we had a nice little apartment. Well, not that little, because there was 5 of us, right near the beach. It was lovely. And say all I knew of Caen before then was IKEA and getting straight onto the ferry without even knowing where I was. You know, you don't look around, do you? So Weestrum's a lovely little seaside town. Happy to go back there again.
And fun. I didn't realise it was that, but apparently Duncan has told me we have been there.
Oh,
I don't remember.
Early on,
must have been quite probably early on when we got here, but I don't remember. I know I thought we'd gone to Caen. Is Caen seasidey as well?
No.
Yeah, so obviously it was Weestrum, So I just remembered it as Caen rather than Weestrum.
Yes.
So we had been, but it's a long while ago, so it's probably changed a bit since then anyway.
So yes, on Saturday, on the Sunday, we went to one of the memorials, the World War II memorials.
Because there's a lot of that on at the moment, isn't there?
Yes, because it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
Yeah.
So there was lots of D-Day celebrations, but the memorial was really poignant. What they've done there is this thing called Standing with Giants. I'll give you a couple of photos if you wanted to put them up. Just these.
Yeah, I'll slip some photos in because I could do that now that we're visual.
Because we know we're visual. And they've been made by organisations like the British Legion.
Are these the metal?
Yes.
Right, yeah, because you sent me some pictures of them.
That's right.
Oh, it's very poignant.
Yeah, they're black metal, like silhouettes. Allied forces on the first day of D-Day.
Oh, the first day.
1,500 of them. 1,500 of them.
Wow.
And they're all set in this kind of grassy...
It's just like a field, isn't it?
Yeah, like almost like duney, hilly.
Oh, so it was near the beach then?
Yes, you could see the beach. I can't remember there's the Gold Beach, Omaha Beach was where the Americans came up. Yes, very, very poignant. And that's only there until sometime in August, I think. I don't know where they're going after that, but it's stunning.
Well, we've visited the is it Utah Beach before?
Yes,
and that's very emotional going to that because one of their the guides you have to take you around. They always keep them around the age of the men that died or boys that died practically,
absolutely.
And that really hits home when they start talking to you and you look at them and you think how young they were.
Yeah, I mean, up on the permanent memorial, it's got all the names and their ages. And yes, there's an occasional guy in their 30s, but most are 20s and teens.
Yeah.
Quite a lot, 18, 19-year-olds.
So you had a nice couple of days there?
We did. We had a meal on the Tuesday lunchtime. Did you hear that? That's the automatic cat feeder.
Oh, right.
Just
Sharon's bought an automatic cat feeder for the cat, and every now and then it chucks some food out.
I've switched it all off now except the lunchtime one.
Yeah.
But
I think we spoke about it in the last podcast, actually, that you could set it up and you have it just talking to them or something, and you've got a camera so you can see what it's eating.
Yeah, so
a lot of people out there have probably got one,
yes,
but it's all a new novelty to you.
I've got an app on my phone, so we could. It's the first time I've left Marco on his own going away.
Yes,
two
there
nights.
you've only got the one cat.
Yeah, so he did all right. Yeah, it was a bit of a panic because I ran out the house so fast because I was so late.
Yeah.
Then I worried that he'd run out after me and he then wasn't in the house.
So we got a message. Could you go and check to make sure Marco's in and getting his food? Which he was. He was upstairs on your bed.
Sulking, apparently.
Sulking because you weren't here. That's what they do.
But no, he did very well, and it was good to watch him. We watched him eat his breakfast.
Oh, you did?
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
So that worked well. Yeah, we had lunch for Max's birthday, which was the Tuesday lunchtime. And then we went into the town of Caen. Again, I've never been there before. Quite nice shops.
Like a normal high street, or is it a mall? Yeah.
No, it's high streets. It reminded me of San Marlo a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So it is like a normal sort of high street town. Yeah.
Lots of quite posh shops. You know, your L'Occitane and Sephora and things like that.
I don't even know that.
Sephora. Oh, I'm sure your viewers and listeners will. It's makeup. It's very fashionable.
Yeah,
makeup.
I don't remember it. I'm gonna have to look for that.
Yeah.
Not that I wear makeup.
No.
Apart from this little bit lippy.
You got a little bit lippy on today, so I haven't got it. Anyway, and then we went to a little exhibition of Josephine Baker.
Yes.
Josephine Baker.
Yeah.
As they call her in French.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. If you don't know, it's an American, black American singer and dancer who came to Paris in the 1920s or 30s. Absolutely fell in love.
African, Nigerian, or where was she from? I can't remember.
A black American, so
Was
probably
she?
from slave.
Yeah, I mean, I was to say I've been to a house in the south, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, but loved the kind of what was then quite bohemian sense of freedom you got in Paris in the 20s and 30s, which she wasn't experiencing back in America. So stayed, became a French citizen, married a Frenchman. And had a big chateau, as you say, down in the south.
Yeah.
But she was also a spy for the resistance during the Second World War. And it didn't say so there yesterday, but I've got a feeling I've listened to something where she smuggled messages on her music sheets and things like that. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and I was awarded I don't know why I'm going like that, as if I'm wearing it.
You're wearing them bald.
She was
awarded a medal. I can see it, Sharon. Yeah.
After the Second World War for her services.
And the French sort of really took her into their hearts.
Oh yes,
didn't
absolutely
they?
love her.
Loved her, yeah.
Absolutely love her. So that was interesting.
Yeah. If ever you're in France, it's worth going to this museum or to the house where we went. I think it's Dordogne direction.
I was going to say Périgord is the name of the place.
Yeah, isn't that the same? Is that Périgord? Isn't that where Sarlat is?
See, Sarlat's definitely Dordogne. Because I've been to, that is Dordogne, Sarlat.
I'll put it on the screen when I find out exactly where it is. But
you know,
it's a stunning.
Yeah, she lost
stunning
that
place.
She went bankrupt over that house.
Quite likely, as I say. But it must have been taken over by some heritage thing because it is now run as a.
Oh right, really?
Yeah, it's run as like a museum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless that's changed since we went, but it wasn't that many years ago we went.
But she adopted 12 children after the Second World War from all over the world.
Yeah.
Partly to prove how people can live together, from all over the world, and it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from.
They remember because in the house you go into a kitchen, and I don't know why, I think I've got a recollection of there being photos of all the children sat around the table.
Yeah, I definitely saw one or two of those. So it's really interesting, really interesting. And there was pictures of the devastation of Caen, because obviously it was just up from the beaches, so there was big battles in Caen itself between the Allied forces and the Germans. They knocked the Germans quite a way back, but didn't manage to defeat them completely. So the Germans again bombed volcans, so and the wreckage of the streets.
Yeah, you
and
showed me a
everything,
picture.
so, yeah.
You do forget, don't you,
Yeah.
too easily. Yeah.
Yes, Normandy especially obviously took quite a battering. I don't know how much Pays de la Loire was affected. I know Laval was. I think Laval was definitely occupied.
Yeah, and obviously Mayhem was, because you've got the museum there, haven't you, that we went to.
Yes.
And I know, maybe there's less and less, or just certain places south. Because do you remember there's a town, isn't there, that's been left exactly, I can't remember what it's called, but it's left exactly as it was then, and you can just, really, it just shows the devastation and how, they just basically up and left or just died.
Yeah, or got evacuated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I want to go there. I mean, it always sounds very morbid, really, to want to do it, but it's your curiosity, isn't it? It gets the better of you sometimes.
Yeah, and I think we need to see these things, even if they're not comfortable to see.
Yeah.
I felt that when I went to Auschwitz. Never quite say that right.
Yeah, you said about that.
It's not, obviously, it's not a great day out, but you feel as if you should see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should see it.
Well, they say you learn, don't you, by, not that we're politicians, but you still, everybody should really, to learn from it.
Yeah, lest we forget and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why you were away? Oh, I wasn't well. I'd just come down with a bit stinking cold, so I didn't go anywhere.
Post-holiday fug.
Yeah, when we was away, Natalie got a stinking cold, and I was sneezing, but I thought both of us really was just suffering from the pollution in London. And also the plane trees, I remember when I worked in London, the plane trees always affected my nose, so I put it down to that. And I still think that's what that could have been, but for some reason, a few days into being back, and I come out with this stinking cold. But then I felt achy. Oh, because that was the other thing. While I was away, I was telling Natalie and Leon about what was the first thing? Oh, my neck, where I've had this neck and shoulder problem.
Hip and knee.
And, my hip, but we didn't really talk about that.
You're falling apart.
I'm falling apart. I just can't, Anyway, and then I've obviously got this blister thing that I think's been caused by the radiation, but we don't know really. And Natty and Leon go to this local healer, and his name is Monsieur Gentil, which is like Mr. Nice, isn't it?
Or
Mr.
Kind.
Yeah, that's what Gentil is.
Yeah.
And they swear by him, and them and all their family go to this man. And I said, I was worth anything's worth a go, and that's why I said, how much does he charge? And he said nothing, but we always give him a thing. So I said, right, when we got back, I said, could you make a rendezvous with this Monsieur Gentil? I didn't know his name at the time, and they came and picked me up on the Wednesday and took me up there. I felt really awkward. I said to you, didn't I? I'm a bit nervous. So I don't know what he's going to do to me. He wasn't going to hurt me, but I just thought I felt.
And Natalie and Leon were going to stand by while you got.
Well, yeah, I thought Natalie and Leon going to stand there, but I also felt a bit, because it's one of those things where you want to believe it works and everything, and I just, to a point, I think I felt a bit silly, because you think if this doesn't work, it's not wasting my time, because it's an experience. But I don't know. I can't explain myself really. But I was nervous anyway.
Made you feel uneasy.
So it's only like 5 minutes up the road in the car, and this little old man, he's got a little. Don't know what's going to happen when he's gone, whether he's got anybody else in the family to take over. Exactly, and he's an apprentice, but he's got this room with a bed in it and a couple of chairs and everything, so he's obviously used to people coming round. So I said to Natalie, do a lot of people visit him? And they said yes, a lot, and all their family do and everything. And so there must be something in it, else they wouldn't all be going to him.
Well, my attitude to all these things is I don't care how it works, why it works, if it's all in your head or not. If it works,
exactly,
it doesn't matter how it works.
If it's telling your brain that it's almost like, what's the word? It's like that's not manipulation, is it?
Well, that's all hypnosis is and things like that, isn't it? All pain is a message from your body to your brain telling you it hurts.
Yeah.
That's why some people think with hypnosis they can actually have surgery without any pain medication.
Yeah.
Because what you do is switch off that message that
Yeah.
it's going to hurt.
It's incredible,
Bit
isn't
risky.
it? You do hear of people doing it,
Yeah.
especially in like China and places like that, don't they?
Where they've
It's
got
incredible.
holistic medicine.
Yeah.
That's holistic.
Is it?
That's a medal.
Leon stayed in the car, and Natalie took me in, and because obviously she's sort of used to me and how I talk and vice versa, can't still always understand her, which was the challenge on holiday, obviously. But I didn't know whether he was going to be like a patois sort of Frenchman or what, so I was really glad she come in and didn't just send me in. So she explained to him what the problem was. He said, and I did know he said, how long have you had this? And I just said, moi, which sounds a bit silly, but it's months and months and months. And so like, was cat meowing, didn't it, really? Wah. Sound like Marco. And yeah, so he sat me on this chair, and he just was feeling around the neck, and I did understand that he said to Natalie that the area was very hard. So whether that meant it's a spasm or not, I don't know. But he just kept up and down that part of my spine, and then just kept massaging across it over and over and over again. I expected to feel heat because Leon was saying that a friend of theirs went to him, and I suppose he must do slightly different things for different ailments, because he said he sort of had his hands either laid on him or hovered on this man.
Yes.
And then he said, I think you need to go to the hospital. And when they got to the hospital, they said they could actually see where his hands had been on this man's body, which perhaps that's why it put the wind up me a bit. I was thinking, but so I did expect to feel heat, but I didn't. Almost a bit disappointed.
Yes.
But I know he said to Natalie that he just did that, and he just said, all I heard was something about 2 or 3 weeks, and I think she was saying we'll come back in 2 or 3 weeks, but it was again so fast I lost it a bit.
Yes.
Oh yeah, before we left for the car, I was just about to get my purse out because I thought I'd just give him some money, and then Natalie sort of did and give him €10. So when I got to the car, I gave her that back. And but as we were about to get in the car, Leon said, "Did you mention the other thing? Like I don't know what he called it, but I knew what he meant. My little blistery thing." And so she, oh no, we forgot. So we got back out, went back in again, knocked, and so she's gone running into him and said, "Monsieur, we forgot something." And so I lifted my top up and showed him, and sat down again, and he just sat like I was sat in the chair like where you are, and he was sat on the bed, and he just sort of did all this around it, kept tapping, and whether he's feeling maybe how big was behind it, I don't know, but there isn't anything behind it other than my rib cage. And he kept tapping, and then he started doing this. So, and they do that, don't they, when they're sort of drawing the bad out, isn't it?
Drawing out your toxin or whatever.
Yeah. Because I couldn't actually see everything because his hand was under my boob, but yeah, I just saw this movement, and I sort of got the gist of what he was doing. And then he said something again about I heard tombe, and then I heard 2 or 3 weeks. So from that I gathered that he was saying it would fall off in 2 or 3 weeks. So I thought, so excited because I want rid of this thing. Yeah, so then Natalie basically reiterated what I was thinking, just said, yeah, that's what he's saying. But the day after I felt like I had the flu, which I know I'd had a cold, but it was okay. But the whole body felt achy, so it's almost like he'd interfered with something.
Yes.
And maybe it's to do with those toxins, I don't know. You're probably all thinking I'm mad. But I know that wasn't in my mind
different,
because it felt different to my coldy flu. And I did tell Natalie, and she said, "Oh, are you taking paracetamol," sort of thing, which I was. And then when we saw her on Saturday coming to yours, she said, as that, again, I still don't know what she called it, but every time I know what she's talking about. And it had started to dry up. So... But it does do that occasionally, but not lots.
So what's it like now, a week on?
It's sort of half... Oh, it sounds awful, but it's half crusty. It's not like scabby. It's just like it's started to dry.
Wow.
So
it'd be interesting if it does
Yeah,
drop off.
exactly. I mean, the 2 or 3 weeks will coincide with me going to the UK.
Right.
So I won't be going back to him unless Natalie insists we go before I go away.
So it'll be when we come back.
When we come back, and it might have gone by then, it might not.
Yeah.
And then let the doctor know where I've been and see what her reaction is, because you never know what the doctor's... I mean, if it does it, she might be thinking, oh, maybe there is something in this. Or
I do
saying
find,
it's sheer coincidence.
Yeah, I do find doctors and pharmacies here much more open to the idea of holistic medicine.
Yeah, I think we
and
said about that, didn't we,
herbology,
in another
you know.
podcast?
Yeah,
I think...
Our chemists here have lots of herbal.
Yeah, because I often
don't
used to think that they wouldn't be because they're so stuck in their ways for lots of things.
Well, that's
Obviously,
more
they're
traditional medicine, isn't it, than chemical medicine
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
yeah. So anyway, we shall see whether
Yes.
I am blisterless and
Will bits of jam fall off?
yeah. I mean, my neck isn't. My neck. I don't know if it's not better because I'm not just sitting there doing nothing, because I've still got to do things, and it's not until you're in pain you realise how much you use the area that's in pain.
Yeah.
And I keep getting a bit of, the muscle keeps going into a spasm. Anyway, we shall see whether this heals up and whether this falls off.
Run the other way round.
Yeah, hopefully not the other way. But anyway, so that's been our week. Really, I can't think of anything else.
We did our last chair fit yesterday.
Yeah, last year fit for the season and now until September, wasn't it? So we've got to be really strict with ourselves and try and get some walks
That's not
in.
going to happen, is it?
Because again, because I've had this cold and because I've sore knees and stuff from all the walking in UK again, we haven't. Well, I mean, not far into we're only second week in.
Yeah, we did walk Wednesday.
We did do
we?
the Banyol walk, and that was really nice, wasn't it?
Wow.
Because we oh yes, you'll see if you watch the walk, you'll see at the start we spotted some dodgy men in the woods, which sounds even worse. But we did do this walk because it was going to be a really hot day, and Duncan suggested we walk somewhere with shade, and I thought Banyol Forest. First of all, we couldn't find a proper path, could we?
We kept seeing paths, but not parking and paths.
Yeah.
So as soon as we found parking, we couldn't find paths.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
But then it said parking, and they were like those little lay-bys, aren't
Yes,
they?
yeah.
There's probably a name for those. And there was cars parked in those, and I said, oh, that's obviously what the parking is. But then we started to try and find a path. And I'm not going to tell you much more because I obviously want you to see the video, but safe to say...
It felt dodgy.
It felt dodgy. So watch that video.
So we moved on, didn't we?
Yes, we did move on, and we then found ourselves in the centre of Banyol, which is now being refurbed, and it was lots of new discoveries, which I didn't know was happening there.
Yeah.
And of course, we ended it with a coffee and a muffin,
Yes.
and that was bloody lovely.
But except you berated yourself.
I
the rest
berated
of the day.
myself after because not because I'd had the muffin, but because I still went home and had lunch, and I really didn't need it. But there you go.
Well,
I did only have salad.
A sugary muffin's not going to fill you up, is it?
It did though. I felt satisfied enough that I shouldn't have had lunch.
Oh,
That's why I berated
Wow.
myself. Anyway, today we talked on too long. Where we are, 36 minutes of just talking about us.
But
But
done a
then,
dream yet either.
that's a good point, and we always forget the dreams. Have you had any lately you remember?
I've got a good one for you.
Have you? Oh, come on then.
Right. So it was a special birthday,
Okay.
like my 18th or my 21st or something. My mum had organised it for me. But the friends at the party weren't my friends. They were all Fee's friends.
Right.
So especially Fee's friend Billy, who they've known since they were at nursery together. So Billy was there. And it was over 2 floors, this party, and the top floor was a roof terrace. Very good.
Right. That's talking about our holiday roof terrace, that is.
It might have been. There were lots of activities. My mum had bought a package of activities.
Right.
And there was a lecture on art. That was one of the activities. A discount clothes package. Very detailed. A spa treatment. And
a discount clothes package for a party.
Yes,
Okay.
and a music shop.
A music
We could buy
She
records
just
and
bought
stuff.
this on a trailer, this
It's
music
a little
shop.
DJ and everything.
Oh, right, okay.
But they only lasted 15 minutes each.
Okay.
And then they packed up and went. So it's like, if you didn't get to the clothes, there was like a package of like, oh, there's a top, a pair of shorts, a baby's bib. And you had to buy this package. But they're only there for 15 minutes and then they moved on. Same with the spa treatment. So yeah. But at one stage, an evil person, don't ask me how I knew he was an evil person, but I did, was looking over the roof terrace.
It must have had that thing
but
about
I knew him.
Oh.
And I knew he was evil. And I thought, I'm going to take my chance. So I picked him up by the bottom of his legs and upended him over the terrace.
I'm always flabbergasted by
So
these
I just
dreams.
I don't know if you can do that weight-wise, because he was kind of leaning over. And
Right.
I just grabbed his ankles.
But was you in front of him? Or
I was behind him.
Oh, you was behind him.
I was behind
I was wondering
him.
how you managed to get hold of the legs.
I grabbed his ankles and then just kind of popped him over.
So just topped him over the...
Over the roof terrace.
Right.
And I thought, well, that's another job done.
Okay.
Yeah. But these packages were quite very specific. Yeah.
Again, the only dream I remember is us killing the Italians. That's the only
Did you
one. That's funny how that still sticks in my mind.
Killed a load of Italians.
Yeah. I don't know why you had that dream, and since then I've had loads, but I couldn't tell you what they are.
That's my best one
So,
so
yeah.
far.
Have you got any others to share, or should we
No,
move on
that's
to our
just it.
topic?
That's just it
Right.
for now.
This week we it's the elections are going on, aren't they? And not that I have anything to do with it, and we can't vote here, can we?
We can't vote in the French election, no.
But
Because we're
there's
not
just all these
citizens.
rumours going on about if a certain person, who is it?
Well, it's the far right of the French political system.
right.
And they've just done really well in the European elections. And therefore, Macron, who's our president, dissolved the parliament, French parliament, and they're now having elections for the parliament. And the fear is that the far right will get in the French parliament.
And they're not very kind, or have got
They're
horrible
very-
plans for.
They're very
Is it immigrants?
anti-immigration.
I'm not very political. You should know this
yeah.
by now. I
Yeah.
rely on Sharon occasionally, but I do ask her not to tell me usually.
No, and anti-gay rights, anti-some women's rights. So there's a lot going on. Actually, our French teacher was telling me yesterday that they're looking to repeal this act that's been in place, I don't know, centuries as well, which is how people who weren't born here, like children, specifically children, that were born here to foreign parents, let's put it that way. So, say you came from Algeria, your child is born here. When they get to 12 years old...
Okay, if this seems a bit disjointed, it's because the camera overheated and we thought that's an excuse to have lunch.
It was a very good excuse to have lunch.
So we've had lunch and we've probably moved positions and everything, but
And I'm
hey
still
ho.
drinking my tea.
Yeah, so we were talking before the camera misbehaved. You were talking about the migrants and
The French elections and the possibility of having quite a right-wing government in France. And the right-wing government is very anti-immigrant, anti-foreigner. Now, my suspicions are it is about race and not anything else. So as white foreigners, we're probably in a better position. But that aside, we are foreigners. And our position in the country could be quite delicate, couldn't it?
Yeah, but we did go through similar to this, didn't we, with Brexit? Because we were worried that they wouldn't let us stay.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden, obviously, the UK was then out of Europe. But I think they thought better of it. Thought we're bringing money in the country, and especially us that have been here a long while.
Yeah.
It was they didn't. They decided that we could stay. So, yeah, hopefully it's going to be the same situation.
Yes. Yes. Well, let's hope they don't get in, to be honest. But...
Yeah. Well, that overall is what we need. But I know we had similar things happening all the time in UK, wasn't it, about the migrants there and everything as well, and it's probably still the same situation as, you know,
Yes.
I'm like, I don't follow everything, but
there's been a big stop the boats in
again,
yeah.
they never seem to though, do they?
No, they're not going to stop the boats, are
No.
they? Not until they. Well, it's another political debate, but
Yeah.
my opinion is they need to look at the terrible conditions that people are coming from as to why they want to escape them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
It did raise a
That's-
question, didn't it?
yeah, it raised the question which I think we're going to need to talk about in the next part 2.
But football starts again tomorrow. Oh, it's going to be sport for like. Well, what time's it? 12 hours of sport a day. Isn't that fantastic?
Obviously, Sharon is getting very excited because there's lots of sport this time of year. We've got Olympics coming up.
Wimbledon
You've been
starts
watching.
on Monday.
You've been watching French tennis. You've been watching football, and now
Yes,
you've got
the Euros are
Wimbledon
still going on.
starting.
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously Euros football. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's great.
sadly, she doesn't have me to confide in and talk about it because
No.
I have no idea what's
No.
going on.
I talked to Max.
But she has got a chart to keep her company, though.
I do have a wall chart.
Yeah, we picked that up at the airport for her, so yeah, she can keep check of everything.
I love a wall chart.
Oh, Duncan and Leon were having a look at that, or even Natalie, weren't they, at the weekend? But we wanted to elaborate on our worries, really, on
Yes.
the political situation. If, who is it? Is it Penn? No, if she gets
Marie
in?
Le Pen is, it's her party. I always forget the name of it over here. But there's a young guy called, I don't know what his first name is, but his surname is Bardella.
Right.
And he's only in his late 20s, and he's the
I
the
might have seen a
darling,
picture of
the
him.
darling of the right. So
Right.
if they do really well, they'd like him to be Prime Minister. Macron stays as president, but he'll be Prime Minister.
I sometimes think it is a good thing to get someone young, but then I think we had a discussion earlier saying, you know, sometimes why the older people get voted in, excuse the motorbikes outside, because they're supposedly wiser and more experienced, but that's not always the good
No.
thing, is it?
No, it's not.
So again, if
Completely.
he's younger, it might be a good thing, but not if he's
Very
far
right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's just a bit of a thing that's come up. I think I mentioned before it was a concern before with Brexit that we would get basically chucked out of the country, but now we're worrying again because if they did get in, could they possibly evict us? Which I'd like to think they couldn't do that. I mean, how can they do that if you own property here?
Well, the thing is, we've only got limited time residency. So you've got a 10-year residency. I've only
Yeah.
got 5, of which did I work out? I'm 2 years into that. So I've got another
I think so.
3 years.
Well, you said 21 you got it, so we're 3 years into it. I think you've got
If
2
that
years
was
left.
Right, yeah. So could they say, well, we're not going to renew your residency.
Mm.
We're not going to honour your carte,
Carte de séjour.
yeah, and our carte vitale. And then we'd be flummoxed, wouldn't we? We'd be...
I know it's hard to believe that a government would do that, but in some countries they really don't give a hoot, do they? They just
it's
do
happened
it
in other
and
countries, you know, albeit not in Europe, but
I mean,
what's its Second World War?
I think both of us, I mean, the main worry is neither of us have got anywhere to go to actually live in if we had to go back to the UK.
Yes.
Because, yeah, we'd have to rent, and then neither of us can really work now because we've only got pensions. Whether we'd be able to get anywhere, I don't know. And I really, really, really do not want to go back. Other than that, could we go to another country in Europe? Would we be accepted to do that?
Yes, at the moment we could go to Spain or Cyprus, who are quite happy to accept Brits.
And could we sell our properties here in time to get money to go and move somewhere else, or would it be that quick we wouldn't have time to do any of that?
I would the property property prices just fall because everyone's trying to sell because we've all got to
that's
leave.
a good
I don't
point.
know. It's a very depressing subject.
It is, but these are the sort of things that go in the back of your mind, don't they? Because when these sort of things come up, you want to keep positive and keep thinking about all of that. But I mean, I really can't think if we had to return to the UK, could we approach a council or a housing association and get anywhere? No?
Not the way things stand at the moment, though.
Yeah.
They could argue that you're intentionally homeless because they say you've got somewhere to live. But even so,
Could they